And right now we're following breaking news. The CDC has just endorsed Pfizer booster shots for millions of older and vulnerable Americans.
Late this evening, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky signed off on a series of recommendations from an advisory panel. They recommended booster shots for those 65 and older and anyone between 50 and 64 with an underlying condition that makes them vulnerable to serious illness. The booster shot should come 6 months after the second shot. Dr. Walensky is also recommending people between 18 and 64 get booster shots if they work in the healthcare field or have a job that puts them at an increased risk of exposure. That's something the advisory panel voted against. But before those booster shots can be rolled out in our state, the Western States Scientific Safety Review Work Group must sign off on them.
I think it's fair to say that 20 to 25% of Washingtonians potentially could benefit from the Pfizer vaccine booster shot. And we'll just have to see what that means for us as we get into rolling out a program.
Health officials maintain vaccinating the unvaccinated remains the top priority. In a little more than 5 weeks, Seattle will select its next mayor, and whoever gets the nod will be faced with a homeless and housing crisis.
Tonight, current City Council President Lorena Gonzalez laid out her plans to tackle those two massive issues, at times lacking details. KOMO's Cole Miller live tonight in Seattle to break down what she has in mind. Cole?
Well, Preston, Mary, she's dividing this up into what she calls 7 key fronts. These are items that she wants to get the ball rolling on within her first 100 days if she is elected. A few of them can be summed up with the word speed, quickly building affordable housing and urgently getting specific services to those living on the streets. A crisis only deepened by the COVID-19 pandemic, homelessness, and how to best tackle it is top of mind for Seattle voters as the city will soon tap a new mayor to lead the charge.
Nobody wants an encampment anywhere in the city. Our goal is to make sure that people don't have to resort to living outside.
Lorena Gonzalez, fighting for that post, explained Thursday why she's the candidate to get the job done.
It's going to take tenacity every single day.
Among her 7-point plan, rapidly building affordable housing, 37,000 units. And to get people into housing and shelter, she wants teams of service providers to assess those encampments and find what's needed to make that happen.
It's our responsibility to offer individuals a service and housing that meets their needs.
She also mentioned a universal income program, but did not go into specifics. Then there's bolstering mental health services and securing more funding from the state, which ranks near the bottom in terms of access. All lofty goals to take on a daunting problem.
And it's going to take laser focus to get progress every single day until the number is 0 individuals outside.
Okay, so in addition to the Jumpstart Seattle tax, which was passed last year, Gonzalez wants to see more progressive taxes on big corporations, along with the city's wealthiest. As for sweeps, she says those will not be happening under her watch. Back to you.
And in response to Gonzalez's announcement today, her opponent Bruce Harrell released this statement, which reads in part, quote, "The status quo approach offered today isn't working. People are suffering for lack of action in City Hall. Sound bites and vague promises of new revenue will not help people get housing and support right now, and will not make parks and sidewalks safe and welcoming for all the people of Seattle." Harrell wants to devote at least 12% of the city budget to housing. That's including temporary housing for the homeless. He believes that will keep people off the street.
The candidate's remarks come as another fire torched part of a homeless camp in Seattle's Green Lake today. It's the second fire this week at that encampment. 3 tents and 2 trees went up in flames. Campers believe the fire was caused by someone using a propane tank near a tent. There have been 952 encampment fires in Seattle so far this year. KOMO will stay on top of the homeless crisis, from the situation at Green Lake to the plans from city leaders to address the problem. If you have a tip or a story idea, call 206-404-4732 or email projectseattle@komonews.com.